It was one tour we were on, headlining tour. It was actually really well. We had a gig that night in Seattle. I can't remember the name of the venue. And we got a phone call from somebody saying that they were doing auditions for this new upcoming TV show called Battle for Ozfest. And the guys were like, but it's tomorrow. It was like tomorrow evening you had to be there. And it's a 30, don't quote me on this. I think it's about a 30 or something hour straight drive. We would have had to cancel that show that evening and make it straight to LA for auditions that next day. I said, absolutely not. We're not doing MTV. I'm not doing
so
this.
You knew it was MTV. You knew.
I knew it was MTV. I knew they were doing this whole battle process. We didn't know the terms. We didn't know what it was about. We just got the call saying, hey, we just saw this, or they heard it on the radio. I said, absolutely not, dude. That's what like some reality show. Like, yeah, we're not missing our concert tonight to go try out for this bullshit.
By the way, knowing the timeline in my head, this is also pre-Jersey Shore, so it's probably like in your head you weren't like, this is going to be a hit. You were like, this could be a show on at 3 a.m. that no one watches.
Bro, this was when Real World was dominated. This is before the social media and the reality TV. So it was like Road Rules. I'm like, how would this even? There's fucking, and mind you, Ozzfest was huge. This was 2000. This would have been going on to the 2004 2005 season. So Ozzfest was at an all-time peak, and I got outnumbered. The dude's like, fuck you, Jake, we're doing this. And I'm like, I was pissed because I don't like canceling shows. And thank God that it happened because, and we could have done this without MTV. I don't know at the same peak of some of the bands we toured with, but definitely we had it coming. This just basically catapulted us a little bit quicker. So we made the drive, we pull into LA, and you just see the streets of LA filled. This was at the Palladium, and we're talking thousands and thousands of bands. And I'm like, holy shit, this is some real shit. So that next morning, we stand in line, we go through all the weird shit, we do some auditions, no music. We just had to do some like interviews, and they pass us along from producer to person to Sharon and Ozzy. And they're like, all right, thank you guys. And everyone just exit. And we're all like thousands of people just looking at each other like, now what do we do? So we just go home, fucking went and started playing music. I'm booking another tour, and we get a phone call. And the phone call's like, hey, we need you guys to be here on this day. We're going to announce this and this. So we're like, what's this mean? We still didn't really know what it was about. So we're all at the band house. And I don't know the time between that first audition and then the second one.
And when you say the band house, were you guys all living together?
So myself, Jeremy, and Clint, the guitar player at the time, Clint and myself were in the back of Jimmy's parents' house. And it was that we call it the House of Manntis, which was our actual band house. Adair was there. He basically lived there, but he didn't have a bed. It only fit. It was a garage turned into a jam studio. So it's just where we've been playing music since '97. So we're all there. We're jamming, and all of a sudden this black car pulls up, and guy gets out, hands us this VHS, and he's like, "Here, play this." We play, and it's like, "Congratulations, you guys made it in the top 8 of Battle for Ozfest." We're like, "Fuck yeah, this is dope!" And like, but one thing, we're taking your guitar player. We're like, "What?" Like he's leaving. And this was months. So like, and he's even like, whoa, young kid, 17 years old, about to go to, Sharon and Ozzy's house. But it all worked out. And obviously from the episodes.
So he was, you guys weren't featured on the show, just Adair.
Right. So they took one member from each of these bands. So it's TV. And Adair by far is probably the most, what's the proper word for him? Articulate, just outgoing, well-mannered kid.
He and also truthfully, it's like I'm thinking TV, and especially how TV is, they're probably like, I believe that there's mixed, right? Or so they care about all that stuff with demographics and
100%. Yeah, we call Derek Oreo, half black, half white. So he's but yeah, at that time it made for perfect because you had the punk rock girl, you had the white Jersey dude, and then you had the South Carolina boy, and then you had Adair, the African. So it worked out perfect. And you put Adair in any room or any situation, he can play the drums, he can sing, he can play the bass, he can play guitar, he's a DJ. So he is the most talented. You put me in there, I'm like, I can scream. Or play a power chord or some bass lift. But it worked out for TV, man. And they took him for quite some time. I don't remember the exact time frame while they're filming the entire show. I think it was halfway through. They're filming, they're in Florida, and they said, you guys need to be on a plane. Oh, no. I take that back. They brought Jeremy out they let you take one member to do the acoustic version with Rob Halford from Judas Priest. So they're able to do that.
Unreal, right?
Yeah. So we won that one actually, and we're far from any acoustics, but Adair actually sing that song. They won that award with Rob Halford.
Is that because I just, I don't, this is so long ago. Is that the song that wound up on the last song in the first album?
Right.
Yeah.
And by no means did we want that, but the label was like we weren't even going to put it on. Century Media was the one who actually was like, you guys got to put this one on.
I feel like that was a great move to put that on there, though, man. I mean, it's a great song, and I think it does show versatility.
Adair's just one of those dudes where now not so much. He's gained a lot of confidence over the years, but back then, like for him to sing an acoustic song, we knew he was made for it, but it wasn't our style, But it ended up being a great song, and the lyrics were strong. So, but yeah, that was about the time. Jeremy went out there, and then they called the whole band out, and we had no idea what was going on. They let us practice in some studios. It was the first time we'd seen each other in like 6 months. I lost my voice again that one just from screaming so hard. And they told us it was like, hey, you guys are playing the main stage Ozzfest and like tomorrow. It was like tomorrow night. They gave us 24 hours notice. I'm like, what the fuck do you mean? What are you talking about? And there we go. We're off to Ozzfest. We're all on this bus together and go backstage. And they're like, Manntis, you're on right before Slayer and Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. We're like,
which is great, but at the same time, you never want to play before Slayer.
No, nobody ever wants to play before. But we embraced that moment. It definitely was the largest. I think they clocked it at like 60,000 people that day, and it was rough, dude. It was the adrenaline. Like I still go back and I'll watch that episode and I'll see that performance. I'm just like, it seems like another life. It was unreal, but it definitely stamped us because people knew at that time like this is the band that should have won. Although every band on that show was amazing. We're glad we got what we got out of it, which was we got a record label. We were signed with Ozzy and Sharon through our management, which led us to Blasco and John Fenton and so forth. So, and that's kind of the gist of the history of where we started.
That's awesome. Thanks for checking out Battle Line Podcast. This is just a smaller clip from our latest episode, which you can check out in its entirety by clicking here. While you're watching, be sure to hit the subscribe button and thumbs up the video to show your support. Now, if you'd really like to help us out, click the thanks button below to make a donation. It goes directly to us in keeping Battle Line Podcast going for you.